Welcome to Stories and Songs by Afterglow Music. My name is Joel McCausland.
And I'm Kevin Pay, and we've been creating music for a long time.
We'd like to tell you the stories behind our songs.
Joel, let's talk about a song tonight you wrote called Standing as a Witness.
Okay.
I think back in 1984, 5, 6,
probably,
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that time. Yep.
And I think it showed up on the album A Feeling Within.
That sounds right, yes. I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to remember. We've been doing this a long time. Picking up, unless it's the title cut, I have a hard time remembering sometimes.
Well, this has got some real punch to it. And tell us a little bit about why this song came to be and what you're feeling.
You know, I think there's several like this, right, that we've done over the years. We've done Armor of Truth and Warriors of Light and this Standing as a Witness. And these big anthems they would appear on these albums, especially in the 80s. It seems like we had one or two on every album. And they're cool because they are a chance to like turn the volume up and get the full orchestra going, and sometimes a big choral effect, or we duplicate the vocals, and always had a great time recording these. They're a little harder to duplicate in real life sometimes.
Standing as a witness, holding to the promise, walking in the pathways that he trod. Standing as a witness, with his name upon us, standing as a witness of our God.
We had a really cool experience with this song today, and it's funny because I don't honestly remember the last time this song was performed live. It's been...
I remember.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where was
that?
The
The Hart Auditorium up in
Was that the last time
Rick's
we did it?
College. We didn't want to do it in too many chapels because it was
A little
just
too big for the chapel, right?
But we did have an opportunity to do it up in that 4,000 seat auditorium back in the mid 80s or something.
That was probably in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we just let it fly. We lit torches and everything. Well, not really. Symbolically, we lit torches. There you go.
Well, and we might have done it a time or two since. I think we did it. I think My Stake did it for a youth conference sometime,
Okay.
maybe even in the 90s.
Yeah.
But because it's big, it's not a song that we've had a chance to do very often in Firesides and other programs. But we had a cool thing happen today, completely unexpected. So Diana and I were asked to go back to our mission, to the Utah Layton mission today, and they asked me to do this, what they call a gospel scholarship. Every Wednesday, they gather the elders and sisters, put some of them on Zoom, and somebody comes in and does a talk or a presentation or something. And I'd done it once before, a couple years ago, but they asked me to come, and I thought, well, this time I'm going to sit at the piano and sing a few songs and tell a couple of stories. I'm just going to make it simple. And I sat down and did that for about an hour, and it was nice. Felt like it was a good time to quit about 10 minutes to the hour, and I closed it up with a song and sat down. And we've done programs with these missionaries over the last year or so. We did one at Easter that was phenomenal, just wonderful. Had about 20 different artists from the mission, elders and sisters. They did a whole bunch of different songs for Easter, and we did a similar one for Christmas. And Elder Brown is part of a group they call themselves the Triple Combination. And in the past two programs, they've taken a well-known hymn or a well-known song and jazzed it up a little bit. Guitar. The very first one was Away in a Manger with an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar. And I wasn't quite sure we could pull that off and get away with it. But President Lake said, listen to it. If it feels good from a spiritual perspective, let's go with it. There's no reason we couldn't. So Elder Brown got up today. Had no idea what he was doing. He's in leadership in the mission, so maybe he had something he needed to do. But he stood up and he said, we wanted to thank the McCauslands for their time here in the mission. And we hadn't had a chance to do that, to meet with them. And he said, so we have a song that we want to play for you today. And then announced this song, Standing as a Witness. And as usual, they had two guitars, they had a pianist, and they had a guy on a little bongo drum. And they started jazzing this song up a bit. And they sang the whole thing, and it was awesome. They did a great job. We had the chance to kind of record a little of it just on our phones today, and it's maybe not great quality, but maybe we'll play a little clip of that right now.
Standing as a witness, holding to the promise, walking in the pathways that he trod.
The thing that was kind of cool, they finished the song, and Diana said the best thing for her was that I was smiling from ear to ear. You know, it was a really fun thing to see them take that song.
And a complete surprise.
Total surprise, had no idea. And then the bigger surprise even than that was they said, and now we'd like to do the second verse to the end again. Elder McCausland, would you come up and sing with us? And so...
That's so cool.
So, yeah, I got a chance to walk up and sing with the group, and really, what a great experience. Really.
So what are you now called? The quad?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Not the triple combination anymore. You're now part of the quad group.
I don't think I can be part of the group long term. I already have one, and they probably wouldn't want me anyway. But it was really sweet and kind of them to take that song and learn it. I'm sure they didn't know it before. It was probably President and Sister Fiegelson from the Mission Presidency who had encouraged them and suggested that song. They knew it, but it took them some time to put it together, and it was really sweet that they did that, and really fun to have a chance. We got up there and belted it out and sang it, and it was a good time today.
That's wonderful. What a story. Thanks for sharing that. I think of this song as I listen to it, and it really puts the power of example into my thought pattern. Mm-hmm. And there are so many different ways to stand as a witness, standing in holy places and oftentimes not saying anything mm-hmm. to ridicule and things like that, much like the Savior had to do. But yet, when you need to be bold and gently bold and stand for your beliefs, whether it be in a crowd or whether it be with a group of friends or whether it be silently where you are specifically, and knowing that God is watching and standing as a witness for Him based upon obedience to His commandments. And so this has been a powerful song for me to be able to re-energize and recommit to standing as a witness in so many different ways that we can do in life.
That's a great perspective on these. It's not just this song, as we talked about. We've had several of these that we've done, and even if we don't get a chance very often to sing them because they're not always appropriate for every meeting we're in, boy, they have been that to me too, that kind of a light. You feel these songs when they're sung or performed or just when we listen to them, and it brings back some great memories of the way we recorded them and what we felt then too. I'm glad we have them in our catalog, these songs that give us that kind of big motivation and inspiration and remembrance of the things we ought to be focused on.
Well, let's let our listeners hear the whole song.
Great.
See the world crying out for something they can hold, and the world trying to soothe the hunger in their souls. Will they ever know the way? See the light shining through the darkness of our time, and the light showing how to reach our home divine. Let our light so shine today. Standing as a witness, holding to the promise, walking in the pathways that He trod. Standing as a witness, with His name upon us, standing as a witness of our God. See the truth spreading like a wave upon the sand, and the truth shining like a light to every land. Help them understand today, and the love that we must have to lead the way. Give your love